Good afternoon. Welcome to MTG Anonymous. Today we're going to be going over a quick deck tech I've been brewing, which will be on the channel eventually. The colors you can see is mono red, and the deck is called Krenko of the Calamity. One quick reminder, this is the first deck tech on the channel, and the format will possibly change. Also, this is an experimental deck, so there will be changes to it as well, but that will be announced with the associated video. With all that said, let's get the deck tech started. First, let's talk about the basics. We want to get Cavalcade of the Calamity out as soon as possible. Next, we want Krenko out, which can make a metric ton of tokens. We then want to have Jaya out for static ability, which reads whenever our red sources deal damage to a player or permanent, it deals an additional 1 damage. Once we swing with the tokens, there will be enough 1/1s to kill our opponent. Hopefully, Jaya will make Cavalcade deal 2 damage instead of 1, as well as the 1/1s deal an additional 1 damage, so that will lessen the number of attackers we'll need. Including Krenko, we have 6 different creatures in the deck. The 4 that are for protection and slight chip damage are Rigging Runner, Spear Spewer, 10th Street Dodger, and Goblin Warchief. Rigging Runner is a 1/1 for a red with first strike that comes in with a +1/+1 counter if we attack the turn it comes in. We're mostly using it for blocking power here with its first strike, but it can also help once our main combo pieces are out. Spear Spewer is a 0/2 for a red with Defender that can deal damage to each player. We can also use this ability with Jaya's to have it do 2 damage instead of the 1. 10th Street Dodger is a 1/1 for red, has haste, and can't be blocked if you pay red. This will help with any remaining damage that needs to be dealt, and it can also help us get in for extra damage. Goblin Warchief is a 2/2 for 1 red and a red, and makes our goblins cheaper and they gain haste. Now the cheapening ability only affects Krenko, the other Goblin Warchiefs, and the last creature in the deck, but can also give us extra chip damage if our opponent goes shields down while we have mana for Krenko. The other creature that I mentioned is listed under damage, and we'll talk about that next. Siege Gang Commander is our last creature. It is a 2/2 for 3 red and a red that makes 3 1/1s when it enters. We can also pay 1 and a red and sack a goblin to deal 2 damage to any target. It can be used as a finisher, and it helps with token production. Skewer the Critics is 2 and a red for deal 3 damage to any target, but if an opponent loses life that turn, we can cast it for just a single red. Shock deals 2 damage for red, and we can also use it as removal against opponent's creatures or to help close out the game. After we talk about our last card, we can finally talk about finishing the game. Cosmotronic Wave is that last card, and it is extremely beneficial to finishing the game. For 3 and a red, it deals 1 damage to each creature our opponents control, and it also makes them unable to block for the turn. After we've used Cosmotronic Wave, we can now freely swing. Making some assumptions, we can show about how much damage we could roughly do. If we only have 5 1/1s, Jaya, Krenko, and Cavalcade of Calamity, the tokens deal 5 by themselves, an additional 5 with Jaya's trigger if they're not removed somehow during combat. Cavalcade of Calamity triggers 5 times from the 1/1 swinging and deals 5 additional damage because of Jaya. Krenko on base is a 1/2, which gets a +1/+1 when it swings, and then it gets the additional 1 from Jaya, so it deals 3 damage. And also, we can use Jaya's minus ability after combat's done to deal an additional 2 damage to our opponent. That makes 25 damage in 1 turn. The longer the games go and the more tokens we have, the more damage we can pile on, and that makes even more possibilities. And finally, there are no special lands we need to talk about, so there are 22 mountains inside of this deck. And with the lands finally mentioned, we can now talk numbers. There are 4 Rigging Runners, 4 Spear Spewers, 4 10th Street Dodgers, 2 Krenko 10th Street Kingpins, 3 Goblin Warchiefs, 3 Siege Gang Commanders, 2 Jaya Venerated Fire Mages, 4 Shocks, 2 Skewer the Critics, 4 Cosmotronic Wave, 2 Gravitic Punch, 4 Cavalcade of Calamity, and 22 mountains to equal up 60 cards total. Since we're only doing the 1 of 1 in ranked, we don't need a sideboard, but for the next time we do a deck tech, or for the update of this deck, we will have one. If you could, it would be awesome if you could like this video and comment, and also subscribe to the channel. We'll be trying to do 1 deck tech every week at least. Also, we'll continue to have our Tuesday through Thursday videos, so I will see you in the next video later. So I know I already said later, and that's usually how I end my videos, but I had enough for 2 packs, so I figured I'd open them on the channel, and so that way we can see what we get. So let's go. So Ashiok, ooh, that's gonna be the next deck tech too. That is perfect. Nothing special for Krenko. 2? That's really good. Okay. What's next? another pack. Let's see what we get. Oh. Only one this time. No Planeswalker in this one. Huh. Well, okay. We did get some good cards, though. So yeah, those packs weren't too bad. So now, this is the end of the video. Like I said, like and subscribe. If you enjoy the videos, I'll see you in the next one later.